Today we have Randy Swartwood. He's the president of, I hope I pronounced that right, Swartwood, of At Home Personal Care, and Joe Ballard, who's the executive director. Gentlemen, it is a pleasure to have you here. Describe, first of all, what At Home Personal Care does, what you're about, how you're different from the other options that are out there.
Custodial care. Custodial care includes things like bathing, dressing, transferring, meal preparation, assistance with eating, any of those kind of things that that a senior might find helpful to allow them to, as they say, age in place.
Right, and that's important to a lot of people. And we've often heard about, you know, as far as quality of life goes, people want to be at home, and they don't want to be a burden to their loved ones. It can be very trying for the caregiver, for the personal caregiver, meaning, as I said before, the spouse or a loved one to come over and constantly run the errands, to do the things that person needs, and you create a lot of animosity between the two. And this is where you guys step in. And Joe, when someone calls you up and they're looking for the services that they need, what type of things are they going to be looking for? What type of questions do they need to ask, or you need to ask of them to get really the story of what's going on?
Sure. We're able to, you know, when a phone call comes into us, it's usually a couple different things. Helping my mother or helping my loved one or father, running errands, things like that. Helping around the house. Maybe they can't perform all the duties that they once could, so they need a little extra help. They need some extra care. That's where we step in. Some other questions that are asked when called, they ask about our caregivers, who they are, what we do to ensure that they're in great hands. Their loved ones are in great hands with our caregivers. You know, we screen our caregivers. We do background checks with our caregivers to make sure that they are upstanding citizens and that they are have experience in the industry before. So we want to make sure that they're going to be in the best hands. Kind of caregivers that we would want to have our own loved ones with as well. So that's kind of a few questions. We do same-day assessments where we can come in. We'll come into the family's home, speak with the family, the loved one, really get a sense of what's needed, what we need to do, what they would like us to do, and we can tailor our services to fit their needs.
Okay. Now, the pardon me, are the caregivers? Are they bonded? Are they so the people don't have to worry about? That's a big concern. Quite often, what happens is you know, so many people, and you know, they're looking to save money or whatever, they get, for lack of a better term, somebody off the street to come in. And you know, we've had some incidents here where there's been scams happening and things like that. So so Randy, the people want to be ensured that they're going to be safe. They can trust these people. They don't have to worry about you know, pilfering from them or doing something like that. And you said you ensure that.
Absolutely.
So when you screen the caregivers, you do extensive background checks.
Let me tell you what we do, and I understand this point completely. My own mother is 86 years old, lives by herself, and at this point she's still independent, but at some point in time she may need somebody. And I know the thought that goes through my head and my siblings' head is, if we had to get a caregiver outside of the family, who is it? And how do we make sure that it's somebody reliable? So here's what we do. We do a triple check. So we ask every caregiver that comes through the door that answers the call to be a caregiver for references, at least 3. So these are people that they've done work for before. We do a background check through the state and through the health department. We also do a criminal background check and make sure that there's no blemishes there. In addition to those things, we bring them in, we interview them twice. And finally, if there is a need, we will offer to introduce the caregiver to the family before we ever get hired. So in this way, we are ensuring that the people that we send into somebody's home have been thoroughly scrutinized and screened and background checked.
Now you've got a lot of offices around the area, and how have you gone about learning the special needs, Joe, of this community? And it is, you know, I think the needs here are different. We're a very, very large community, and there are, in some cases, some obstacles to get your caregivers in here, which is a good thing.
Sure.
The security checks and things like that. So what have you done to kind of look at the needs of this community?
Yeah, not too long ago, we were able to perform a focus group. We pulled together some of the key and more important people here in the senior community for Orange County, elder law attorneys, geriatric case managers, and even your own mayor here, Bob Ring, was able to attend our focus group. And the things we learned from that, were to take a proactive approach with our home care industry, to talk a little bit more about how we can find and allocate funds to pay for this with non-medical home care. That's some of the snags that we do see is that families need a little extra funds to pay for this.
Right, exactly, and you have ways to help.
We do.
Find money
for
this,
in
right,
fact,
Randy?
it's one of the things that makes us unique because there are competitors in this business. But one of the things that makes us unique, as Joseph mentioned, number one would be that we have a vested interest in Laguna Woods.
Right.
We have, we sat around the table with people who are delivering services to seniors and asked those kind of questions about what would make, what would the deliverable be here that would be unique to Laguna Woods. Secondly, we help people find money to pay for our fees. If they have
Which is very unique.
Yeah, if they have a long-term care insurance, we work with all of the long-term care insurance providers. So if they had the foresight to buy long-term care insurance 10 years ago or 20 years ago, the first thing we say is congratulations for having that foresight, because not many people have done that. We work with all of those carriers. Secondly, if they are a veteran, and this is a big deal, if they are a veteran, there's a benefit out there through the Veterans Administration called the Aid and Attendance Benefit. It will pay up to $1,900 a month to a veteran.
Wow.
A significant amount of money that can go toward the kind of services that we offer. We help them qualify for that benefit. We help them fill out the application, or at least we put them in touch with the VA so that they can complete the application. And we help them to find that entitlement money that is there for them.
That's great.
For having served in any war for at least 30 days, or excuse me, at least 90 days.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the caregivers go, people can hire them on, whether it's just maybe come a couple times a week and do the laundry and do the kinds of things, or on a daily basis, Joe?
Correct, yeah. We, like I said earlier, we tailor and cater our services to exactly what's needed. So based on schedules, we can do an hourly service, and that could be really kind of a la carte. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever they really need, as well as we do 24-hour live-ins. So really anything that they need, we're able to tailor and cater it exactly to what they need.
That's
so we're
great.
Very flexible, and we want to make sure that everyone's comfortable, both sides.
Right, and that's, again, it's very, very important for you folks out there, as I mentioned, as you guys mentioned, especially when a spouse is taking care of a loved one, they need a break. And I think one of the hardest things is sometimes they feel guilty over the fact that they need a break. They need to get away. Yeah. Maybe they need to go to the mall and just shop or just walk around for themselves. But it's very important because it recharges their batteries. Yeah. They don't get resentful of no matter how much they love their spouse or loved one. There can be some resentment that builds. So having this service, whether it's for the whole day, every day, or a few hours, to have someone come in, say, you know what, I'm gonna do the laundry today. I'm doing the lunch. I'm gonna cook dinner. I'm gonna do whatever is needed. You go do what you need to do. Your loved one is well cared for, and that is very, very important.
Yeah, it's a much different situation when you are the caregiver and the spouse.
It is.
Or the caregiver and the daughter.
Yes.
Those relationships do not blend very well.
Right.
And there is stress that is the outcome.
Definitely. Well, folks, if you want to get a hold of at-home personal care, there's the number on the screen, 748-6669, and or at-home, is it at-home PRC?
athome.com.
I want to make sure I'm reading that right. Yes, I do have my glasses on. And are you local around here?
We are. We have an office in Irvine.
Okay.
Correct.
Great. But of course, use the number. That's the best way to go. Randy and Joe, it was a pleasure to have you on.